Hello, this is Matthew, and I welcome you to another episode of Unrewarded Intelligence, the channel that offers you free information about expensive matters. This week, we have Bitcoin at $28,877, $1 is 3,463 sats, and Ethereum at $1,965. The US desk saw a trend of higher sellers for most of the week as clients sought to cut their exposure to altcoins. The desk serviced inquires for Layer 1, including Sol and Atom, as well as privacy coins XMR and DASH. BTC flow came from both sides, though they skewed towards sellers. Our EU coverage fielded two-way flow for Bitcoin in a range around the $30,000 level. Two-way flow for ADA was particularly robust, and the desk observed higher demand for LINK and KSM. USD strength during the week also drove interest for EUR and GBP. For the third week in a row, network activity grew in some regards but fell in others. Specifically, active addresses rose by plus 3.6%, new addresses fell by minus 2.1%, transaction count jumped by plus 1.1%, daily active supply decreased by minus 15%, and monthly active supply increased by plus 16%. The network's market value also dropped for the seventh week straight. Bitcoin's market cap dropped minus 7% week over week to $751 billion. However, average transaction fees, a measurement of network demand, ticked up plus 4.4% this week. After BTC's hash rate corrected by minus 3.5% last week, the metric dropped by another minus 1.2% week over week. However, Miner market capitalization fell by minus 6.7% to $131 billion, 22.9% of total market capitalization, pacing behind the overall drop in market capitalization. Because prices fell more than Miner market capitalization, miners held more assets than the average market participant sold during the pullback. Bitcoin's Miner outflow to miner revenue corroborates this sentiment. The metric saw a minus 54.8% decrease, suggesting that miner optimism may be rising as they are holding more coins than they are offloading. For the 11th consecutive week, consumer wallets with 1 Bitcoin or less have ticked up. Larger whale wallets saw BTC outflows. Now let's start with news of the world. Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele announced that 32 central banks and 12 financial authorities, 44 countries, met in El Salvador to discuss financial inclusion, digital economy, banking the unbanked, the hashtag Bitcoin rollout and its benefits in our country. Those central banks and authorities are primarily from developing countries, including Nigeria, Egypt, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Paraguay, Angola, Guinea, and Madagascar. Despite China's attempt to ban cryptocurrency mining last year, a new report suggests that China may still be one of the top countries contributing to Bitcoin's hash rate. The Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index report indicated that China accounted for 21.1% of the total global Bitcoin hash rate in early 2022. This finding is a dramatic change from September 2021, when China's share of global hash rate plummeted to 0% following the mining ban. Project lead Alexander Neumuller commented on the report stating, "Bitcoin mining is still ongoing within the country. Although mining in China is far from its former heights, the country still seems to host about 1/5 of the total hash rate." While the New York State Senate discusses a bill that calls for a 2-year moratorium on crypto mining projects relying on non-renewable energy generation, Bitcoin mining companies are increasingly looking to alternative locations. Foundry's Director of Public Policy, Kyle Schmitz, commented, "All cryptocurrency companies have a permanent hold on starting businesses in New York due to the political and regulatory ambiguity. If the bill were to pass, New York would become a permanent afterthought for the industry." According to Whit Gibbs, CEO of Compass Mining, other mining companies are avoiding New York entirely, given the chilling stance from relevant authorities. Didar Bekboff, a co-founder of mining companies IVE.io, indicated that Texas' favorable regulatory environment and cheaper energy costs make it an attractive location for their plan to expand into the U.S. Bitcoin miner Mawson Infrastructure, MIGI, plans to develop a new 120 megawatts facility in Texas and expects it to be fully operational by 4Q 2022, potentially accommodating up to 4 exahashes per second of BTC mining capacity. The U.S. Department of Commerce issued a notice on Thursday seeking public comments on how it can respond to U.S. President Joe Biden's executive order on crypto. The department is specifically gathering feedback on the global competitiveness of U.S. digital asset businesses, comparisons to traditional financial services, financial inclusion, and considerations regarding technology. The president's executive order, issued in March, called for several U.S. departments and agencies to establish a framework to enhance U.S. economic competitiveness in the digital asset sector. The deadline for submitting comments is July 5 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Panama's President, Laurentino Cortizo, said he will not sign a crypto bill recently approved by the National Assembly without additional provisions governing anti-money laundering. President Cortizo noted the legislation is an innovative law and a good law, but feels certain aspects related to illicit uses of cryptocurrency remain unaddressed. The National Assembly claims the bill is intended to regulate the trading and use of crypto assets, the issuance of digital value, the tokenization of precious metals and other assets, payment systems and other provisions. In the exchange stock market, after US-based Bitcoin futures ETFs saw AUM fall over -20% last week, they saw nearly +5% increases or more this week. BTF grew the most, +12.5%, followed by BITS, +6%, BITO, +5.1%, and XBTF, +4.9%. The ETFs are trading at a discount to NAV from as little as -0.09% to as much as -0.11%, except for BITS, which is trading at a 0.3% premium to NAV. ETF volumes fell across the board with BTF leading the losers, -78.5%, followed by BITO -69.1%, BITS -64.3%, and XBTF -7%. Meanwhile, in the decentralized finance universe and NFTs, venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz launched Games Fund 1, a fund focused on investing $600 million across the metaverse gaming industry. The fund brings together gaming industry leaders David Baszucki, founder of Roblox, Jason Citron, founder of Discord, Mark Merrill, co-founder of Riot Games, Mike Morhaime, co-founder of Blizzard, and others to invest alongside A16Z. Following last week's collapse of Terra's Luna and US Terra, the platform's founder, Do Kwon, has been scrambling to put together a recovery plan. Earlier this week there was a preliminary vote in which 91% of votes from 7,000 active community members voted against the proposal to fork the network. Despite the overwhelming sentiment of the community, Kwon went through with officially submitting the proposal, gaining criticism by some Terra validators that the governance of the situation appears to be rather centralized. The vote ends in 5 days and currently has 79% of the submitted votes in favor of Kwon's proposed fork, with about 50% of votes submitted thus far. This is all for today. The text version is in the description. Thank you for supporting our channel. Use this information wisely, stay sharp and illuminated. If you enjoyed this session, please support our channel by clicking like and subscribe, and we will keep you updated with the news.